It's the Shatkin First Down Pregame Show, presented by Dr. Todd Shatkin and the Aesthetic Associates Center, with your hosts, Rich Gaenzler and Dr. Jared Shatkin, with our guest, sports journalist and podcaster, Tyler Dunne. Now, from the Shatkin Sports Network studios in Amherst, here are your hosts, Rich Gaenzler and Dr. Jared Shatkin.
Welcome to another edition of the Shatkin First Down Buffalo pregame show. The Mafia is going to be here. Tyler Dunne's going to be here. And we're going to be talking about the games, the one coming up and the one past with Dr. Jared Shatkin. I'm Rich Gaenzler. Thanks for being here. All right, Jared, let's talk about the Rams game. And obviously, you know, the score was what it was. And what are people talking about most? Well, obviously, we're talking about Josh and the unicorn that he is. A guy, and I've said this before, and you probably have as well, like, don't take this guy for granted, please. I mean, he is so unique at his age, seemingly breaking NFL records almost week after week after week after week after week, and he did it again with the 3 rush and 3 pass touchdowns in the game against the Rams, which had never been done in the history of the league. Remarkable. I mean, he just did things. You talk about hero ball. He defined it in that game. And then, of course, you know, the other thing that we talk about is Sean McDermott, seemingly in games like this that are tight, somehow, some way, there are decisions that people find a way to pick apart. Now, I think we talked a little bit before we went on camera about should he have been as much to blame as people are making him to blame?
Well, I don't know who's to blame in that offensive scenario, if it's Joe Brady, if it's Josh Allen wanting to run up to the ball and score a touchdown, or if it's Sean McDermott calling that timeout. There's definitely somebody to blame, but I think in my mind the players lost that game. I think the defense had a total breakdown against a bad third down team. They let them convert almost 90% on third down, and I think we just got kind of, you know, punched in the face by a team that was really ready to play.
And a team that had something to play for,
yes.
Right? I mean, it was a great prove-it moment for them to beat a team like that. Granted, it was at home, but they are still alive in the playoffs in a bad division, so why not give it their all? And, of course, Nakua and Kupp are now, you saw what they did, and now they're full 100%. And Stafford looked like what some people say is the Hall of Famer that he will be in that game. Yeah. Largely in part, though, because of what you said, the defense. Virtually no pass rush in that game. There were no sacks. We know that. So talk a little bit about that. Where have guys like Russo and Oliver gone in this defense?
Well, I think Ed Oliver this year has really kind of been a little bit of a disappointment, especially last year, 9.5 sacks, and he looks like he took that next step in the contract year. Seems like maybe he didn't put that same work in the offseason. You got a guy like Daquan Jones who showed a lot of promise in the beginning of last season, and he's not quite living up to that. And then, you know, Dwayne Carter getting rotated in off the IR. He was going to have a little bit of a slow day, but it starts with that outside pass rush, and we just weren't having it in that game. To me, it seemed like Sean McVay and the Rams had an answer for everything the Bills were doing defensively.
Yeah, for sure. And he's been known to be that guy who's so creative and so knowledgeable and so well prepared for games that he's able to do that in so many different ways. What about Matt Milano? Is he not ready? So I haven't heard this yet, but I'm going to throw this out there. Do you shelve him for a little bit and keep Dorian Williams in the game? Maybe get him spot duty here and there. Maybe he's just not fully ready yet. Or do you keep playing him out and slowly get him back into game shape?
I mean, so I watched Matt Milano a lot this game. I was at the game on the 50-yard line, and I really made it my job to watch Matt Milano. And in my mind, he's just not playing with that same type of intensity. He has a little bit of a hesitation. And yes, I do think he is definitely overall an all-pro, better player than Dorian Williams. But right now, Dorian Williams was playing with the type of intensity that you need to stop a team like the Rams.
Yeah, no doubt about it. Ty Johnson, again, I mean, in terms of positivity, you talked about Josh and what he did and some of the incredible throws he made to Cooper and to Shakir, and even Hollins' touchdown throw I thought was terrific. But how about Ty Johnson? Again, you know, we're talking about guys like Mac Hollins and Ty Johnson who are way down on the depth chart for almost every team in the league, and yet week in and week out, these guys are performing.
Well, Ty Johnson is a guy that just has much more speed than he seems like he would have. He also has a sense of the game. I think that's why finally we put a running back screen pass in that worked. I mean, it's been 5 years with this McDermott team that every single time we've had a running back screen pass, it's been dropped for a loss. But the guy knows how to find the hole. And he really is fast when he gets the ball.
Yeah, for sure. All right, well, that game is in the past now, and let's see if the Bills rebound. We're going to talk about the Lions coming up, but Tyler Dunne from Go Long joins us next as we continue on the Shatkin First Down Buffalo pregame show.
RV shoppers, Myers RV invites you to shop over 100 brands of travel trailers, fifth wheels, toy haulers, and motorhomes from all the leading manufacturers. Myers RV is the largest family-owned RV dealer in the Northeast with over 2,000 new and used RVs in stock. Right now, all remaining 2024 models are being offered at drastically reduced prices. Myers RV has 3 convenient locations in Rochester to serve you. Just a quick trip east on the 90 to save you thousands. Online at MyersRVs.com. Go Bills!
Hi, I'm Dr. Todd Shatkin here with Hall of Fame running back Thurman Thomas.
My family and I have been coming to Dr. Shatkin's dental office for years. The office is beautiful and the staff is outstanding.
Thanks, Thurman. It's been an honor for me to take care of you and your family.
For a Hall of Fame smile, go where the pros go. Dr. Todd Shatkin at the Aesthetic Associates Center.
Call today for a free consultation, 839-1700.
All right, with a good friend, Tyler Dunne, who's been doing this a long time, talking football. He's done a podcast and still does it on a regular basis. He's written books, the whole thing. He's covered multiple teams in the NFL throughout his 15-year career, welcoming soon a new young one to the now soon-to-be expanded Dunne family. Congratulations on that, and happy holidays, Tyler. Thanks for being here. Tyler Dunne from GoLongTD.com and the Go Long podcast. Good to see you, brother. Thanks for doing this.
Great to see you, Bull. Thanks so much for sticking with me. You've got a little taste of the madness here at Go Long HQ, right? We got a 5-year-old, a 3-year-old, and number 3 on the way, man. So we are psyched. Can't wait for everything ahead.
You did some reporting with the Sean McDermott stuff last year, and there was fire. And look, that happens in our profession, right? You do reporting. Some people like it, some people don't, right? But that's where I want to start off on this with the coach. I think my concern here is that, and it's been brought up a lot in the last couple of years, is the fact that, unfortunately, when it comes to Bill's losses, his decisions are part of the talking points. How confident are you that the Bills can win a Super Bowl with Sean McDermott, blunder at air quotes, blunder after blunder after blunder in tight, seemingly, I mean, they're all important in the NFL, but important games.
Right. So yeah, at the time of that series at Go Long, the McDermott problem, the Bills were 6-6 on the heels of a loss that you're describing, right? One that you can just throw a nickname on, the Philly kneel, taking a knee when you've got Josh Allen. And I think that's that the impetus for all of this kind of thinking that you're getting into, Bull, is you've got this all galaxy quarterback. Josh Allen is the MVP this season. He's had MVP months throughout his career. And when you've got a player like that, you should be getting to conference championship games year in and year out. They've been to one, right? And it's because late in the game, they get tight and teams take on the personality of their coach. So, yeah, I think there is a connection to everything that we do see at the ends of these games. And look, when I'm reporting on these, we could spend hours talking about the reporting process, but I'm going to talk to as many people as I possibly can. Players, coaches, scouts, people in the building who have passed through year after year after year to just learn as much as I can. And there was a lot of positive stuff in there. That seems to be what people tend to forget. Several players on the record saying how much they enjoyed playing for Sean McDermott. There were a lot of coaches who did not have pleasant experiences working with this head coach. And there were coaches and players who saw that dynamic of coach gets tight, they get tight. And it's not a coincidence at the end of these games. And I'll say this, Sean McDermott's done a fantastic job coaching this year. I feel like he has been aggressive. He has coached with belief. And most importantly, he has coached with Josh Allen at the forefront of his mind. That 4th and 2 moment against Kansas City, to me, was such a seminal moment for Sean McDermott. Yeah, you can kick a field goal. Yeah, you can go up by 5. But you're playing Patrick Mahomes. You're playing Andy Reid. You're playing the Kansas City Chiefs. It's like Michael Myers, man. You better stick that dagger through the chest, and you go for it there when you've got Josh Allen. Steve Spagnuolo had the perfect play called defensively, right? He had Josh Allen confused. They show man. They go to zone. He pauses for a split second. But that's why he's an alien, to use Sean McVay's words. He just makes stuff happen. So this past game that we're getting into here against the Rams, I think that's what concerns you a little bit. It was kind of a relapse. It was kind of a a fever dream, right? Like, oh man, I thought the coach was past that. I think he is evolving for good in many different ways. I've been back in the building. I've talked to him several times. Being around this team, learning as much as I can. And we're going to find out, right? Because the AFC is set up for the Buffalo Bills to get to the Super Bowl. And it's on the head coach to just let his players win the game. And that's how he's talked. Now we're going to see if he does.
Let's fast forward to you talk shootout. I mean, arguably, when you look at these two offenses, statistically, they're almost the same. The quarterbacks clearly are not the same. And I would argue, and I think you would agree with me, that the skill players on Detroit are far better than the ones on Buffalo. I think their offensive lines are a push. The quarterback, we have the better quarterback. I think their run game's better. I think their receivers are better. All of them, wide out and tight end. But statistically, they're virtually the same. What do you make of this game? I think this is I hate to say it, but I feel like there's just no way the Bills win this game. But if they did, how would they do it?
This is the best team in the league. This is a really tough place to play. They're on a mission this year. I think that it kind of comes back to the theme of this bowl. Like, the Bills have to embrace scoring a hell of a lot of points, letting Josh Allen dictate in every possible way, throwing, running, because I don't think they're going to stop the Lions. Unless you're turning the ball over, you steal a possession here or there. I have a hard time seeing the Bills just going into Detroit and physically stopping Ben Johnson's scheme. So just embrace it, man. Just embrace the shootout. Don't nitpick. I need James Cook to have X amount of carries and Ray Davis X amount of carries. Just throw it. They've got some holes in the secondary that you can take advantage of, Detroit, and you hope you have the ball last. And guess what? That's probably how you have to win a Super Bowl.
Love it, man. Well, good luck with everything. Happy holidays. All the best to the fam. And I know you, man. You're juggling a lot right now, man. So good luck with it all, and I really appreciate you doing this as always.
Hey, have a great Christmas, brother. Thanks so much for having me.
You too, man.
Hello, I'm Dr. Sam Shatkin Jr., board-certified plastic surgeon. In addition to my many other aesthetic treatments, I'm now offering the revolutionary 4D facelift exclusively for you. Look your best in the new year. Make the resolution right now to give us a call at the Aesthetic Associate Center. Come in for a free consultation. Just mention Buffalo Healthy Living Magazine. 716-800-6026 and find out more at drshatkin.com.
My self-esteem wasn't where it should have been because I was really, really self-conscious about my teeth. When I walked into Shatkin Dental, I was instantly ready for the residency program. I knew that that is what I needed. I needed the discount. I needed the dentist that was going to fix everything. My self-esteem is already getting much, much, much higher just from starting the procedures.
Call Shatkin Dental Health today at 43 Smile for quality dental care you can afford.
Are you hungry? Eat! Stabilize your loose dentures with Shatkin Mini Dental Implants.
Welcome back to the Shatkin First Down Buffalo pregame show. It's time to go in the pocket. With pro quarterback, Buffalo's own Sam Castronova back for another week. We're talking Jared Goff, #1 overall pick, played in the Super Bowl, second in the league in passer rating right now, and man, does that guy got weapons, but similarly to Matthew Stafford, not the greatest athlete in the pocket.
No.
What do the Bills got to do to slow him down? Obviously, they have such a talented offensive skill group, running backs and receivers, so what do you got to do to slow that offense down?
Same kind of game plan as the Rams. I mean, first off, you got to stop the run because they use the run to set up the pass. But I think Goff's probably even a less athlete than Matt Stafford is, even though he's probably 8-9 years younger. But no, we got to stop the run, stop the play action, and then take away his first and second read. If you can do that and make him kind of hold the ball pad a little bit, that's when he starts to kind of make mistakes. He threw 5 picks against the Texans earlier in the year. So it's going to be tough because our D-line's got to get some pressure.
For sure. Isn't that crazy, too? He had 5 picks against the Texans.
And they won.
And the rest of the year he's got 5 picks total.
Yeah,
so he's got 10 on the year, but 5 in one game and 5 the rest of the year. Pretty incredible. What do you think about him overall, his career? Do you think he's where he should be in terms of how people think of him, or do you think he's a bit underrated at this point in his career, based on what he's done and where he's been?
I would say he's a little bit underrated, but I think that system also, it's hard to not be successful. What they've built there and that offensive coordinators, some of those plays you see him draw up are unbelievable. So I mean, he does a great job at executing that, but at the same time, I think he's in probably the best situation he could be in.
Yeah, and Ben Johnson is top of a lot of people's wish lists in terms of next year for coaching interviews. All right, get rid of the ball. We're going to see you as part of the Mafia. Welcome back to the Shatkin First Down Buffalo pregame show. The Mafia is collected. We got Sam, who you just saw. We got Dr. Jared. We got Bobby DeVita, who, in the end, will help supply, hopefully, these guys with some Sorrentino's dough in terms of pizza. We'll do those in the crossovers coming up in a second. And new to the Mafia, but not new to the Mafia, Matt Smith is president of the Amherst South Rotary. Welcome to the show.
Thanks, Rich.
Good to see you.
Nice to be here.
Yeah, absolutely. And we'll start with you. We don't want to start. We hate talking about negatives when it comes to the Bills, but they are the first team in history to score 42 points and not win. 256-0. Remarkable. Anyway. Reasons for that. One of them was virtually no pass rush. I mean, what's going on with Ed Oliver? What's going on with Russo? What's going on with Epinesa? What's going on with Von Miller? What do you think?
It's a great question. The Rams have had a ton of turnover on their offensive line this year, and maybe they got the right combination.
Yeah.
So, and Stafford seemed to be pretty mobile too. I don't know that the Bills really expected that.
Yeah.
So, and he made a few passes that made him look like he was a few years younger.
Yeah, right on. Bob, run game was interesting for both teams in this game. So the Bills and the Rams both have really effective run games. But the Ram defense is not good against the run, and the Bills still weren't able to run. The Bills defense, not good against the run, and held Kyron Williams and Blake Corum fairly in check in that game.
Brandon Beane has always patched our front defensive line with free agents. And it shows. I mean, we need some studs. I really was hoping at the trade deadline we were going to try to get Myles Garrett from Cleveland, who was available for the right price. And he would have been a game changer. And if you're serious about winning the Super Bowl, you need a game changer on that line. Unfortunately, Von Miller's best years are behind him. He was held a lot in that game and it was not called. But Von Miller is not the Von Miller that we used to know. So we have, virtually, Greg Rousseau is probably our best option. But, that defensive line is not a Super Bowl caliber, I don't think.
Yeah, no, not at all. Let's talk coaching decisions with you, Sam. Obviously, there were two significant calls in that game. The holding penalty, the Bills decided to make it a 3rd and 17 instead of a 4th and 7. What'd you make of that?
If you're going to accept that penalty, you cannot play prevent on 3rd and 17 and give them more yards than they got. If you're going to accept it, then be aggressive and keep them out of field goal range. And then the timeout was just, I don't understand it. I mean, even Brady was like, what are you doing? That you have to kick an onside kick now. If we just hurry up and get back on the ball, we could probably get another touch push in about 15 seconds. Using the timeout, we lose at least 40 seconds that you saw. All they had to do to punt the ball, and the time ran out. So
thank you for the tush push, Jared, because they don't do that. I get it. Josh is 6'5", and he's 260 or whatever he weighs. But there's nothing wrong with putting a couple of guys behind him and pushing them in the end zone, because Davidson certainly didn't do it on that sneak, right? So why not push behind him? I don't get it.
Yeah, no, I don't understand it there. I think with the time running out and the fact that you have 3 timeouts at that point, use it to your advantage. Throw the ball. It's first down, throw the ball. At least it would stop the clock. It's either touchdown or a stop clock. And I don't understand the coaching decision. I've liked McDermott throughout the year, but I think that was definitely questionable. And it seems like him and Brady definitely weren't on the same page during that. And, I think they're just watching Josh play football that game and saying this guy is the one we're going to win or lose with. So I kind of understand it from that perspective, but I still think you got to make the smart football call.
Yeah, for sure. Okay, guys, let's get to the predictions now. Fast forward to the Lions game. I mean, arguably these are the 2 best teams in football, arguably. Obviously the records don't state that. The Lions do, but the Bills don't. But still, this is going to be an incredible game. So Matt, what do you think? Bills on the road, 425, Lions, score prediction from you.
34 Lions, 28 Bills.
Okay. Bob?
I'm going to go Buffalo 31-28.
Really? Is it a late field goal from Bass or?
No, I think the Bills are gonna come with a little bit of an edge after last game, and I think Detroit has showed in the last couple of weeks that they can be beaten. They should have lost. Well, they at least would have tied on Thanksgiving Day had the other team had a coach that was still coaching.
It was
right. But I think Jared Goff is we can get to him. He's slow. and we have Superman. So, if the defense just shows up a little, I think we can win.
Well, I mean, Rapp and also Rasul Douglas were hurt and on the injury list this week. Those will be massive losses to this defense against such a talented offensive
One play,
line.
it's hitting your own teammate.
Right on.
Incredible.
Yeah. So what is your prediction?
48-45 Bills.
Wow. Okay. All right. 2 Bills, 1 Lions. Let's go now to the crossovers. And Matt, you're new to this. Basically, what we're going to ask you is guys that played for both teams. So obviously the Bills, and then their opponent, the Lions. Okay. I'm going to give you hints. You're just going to, whoever knows it, throw out the answer, or you think you do, throw out an answer. We're playing for Sorrentino's Pizza. If you get all 3, you get a sheet pizza combined. You get 2, you get a large. You get 1, you get a medium. You get 0, you get 0, naturally. Here we go. First one. This guy had 21 interceptions for the Bills in the mid-90s. He had 9 more in his final 2 years at Detroit, and he still lives in Buffalo. Anyone want to take a guess? He was a safety, and I'll even give you his jersey number. He wore number 24.
Terrence McGee.
Jones?
No, he was 20. Terrence McGee was 24, but not a safety.
Yeah, he wasn't the 90s either.
Did I stump you?
Toughie.
Oh, no sheet pizza for you guys. The answer was Kurt Schultz. Kurt Schultz.
Tough one.
Yep. All right. This first clue will give this one away, I think. This guy is the current assistant to the owner and CEO of the Lions. Anyone?
Chris Spielman.
Chris Spielman. Thank you. Played 8 years with Detroit, 2 with the Bills, had 157 tackles with the Bills in his second to last season in football before the neck injury. Finally, this former quarterback and NFL coach, 9 years in Buffalo, also played for the Jets and Carolina. Finished Frank Reich is right. He finished with an 0-2 record as a Detroit Lion in his last year in the NFL. Okay, you guys get a large pizza out of it because I gave you that gimme with Chris Spielman. You're welcome.
He'll upgrade it if you go there.
There you go. All right. Thanks to Sorrentino's for sponsoring the crossover segment. And guys, thanks to you for being part of the Mafia again this week. All right. Short break. We'll come back. We'll talk some Bills and Lions, myself and Jared, when we return on the Shatkin First Down Buffalo pregame show.
I am so happy with my experience that I had at iSmile Spas today. Got my teeth professionally whitened. I have months of results in less than an hour. No pain, seriously not even a sting. They're not sensitive. You leave with a kit to continue your whitening. Absolutely incredible. I'm so happy I ever did this. I can't stop smiling.
Western New York. Smile again with confidence. Call 43-SMILE today.
It means a lot to be able to work with my dad to continue this legacy that we have going on.
I had many implants. Once I got them, it was like the old me came back.
The changes you can make in such a short period of time in somebody's life, have somebody in the chair crying because they finally have a full set of teeth. And I think the only way to do it in that type of time period for that type of price is really the mini implant.
Mini dental implants can change your life too. Call us at 839-1700 for a free consultation.
All right, welcome back to the final segment of the Shatkin First Down Buffalo pregame show. Rich Gaenzler, Dr. Jared Shatkin talking about the Lions in a game for me I am really frightened about. The Lions have 7 one-score games that they've won, all of them. They haven't lost since week 4. Now, I don't know if they would have any air quotes quality wins to this point. So here's some of the what I consider, I guess, better teams for them. They beat the Bucs, they beat Seattle, they beat Minnesota, Green Bay twice, and Houston after 5 interceptions from Jared Goff in that game. They've had a couple extra days to get ready. They are a great team on both sides of the ball. But I will say this about their defense, and I think this is what sort of brings this game maybe a little bit more even. The fact that Hutchinson isn't there, Anzalone isn't there, Marcus Davenport isn't there. I mean, those are 3 of their best defensive players gone. We don't have that problem necessarily on our defense, which is good news. But some will say, well, where was that defense a week ago against the Rams, who had explosivity as well? Now we face Jamison Williams, and we face Amon-Ra St. Brown and Laporta and Gibbs and Montgomery and Jared Goff. I mean, what do you make of this game?
It all starts with the running backs. They got Sonic and Knuckles there with Jahmyr Gibbs and Montgomery, and those guys can really get going. And if that starts to get going, watch the play-action pass, because Jared Goff is a system quarterback, but he plays incredible in the system that he's in. So, I think if it all starts up front, the Bills need to get to work this week. They need to get to work and come out with a better performance than they did against LA. We need the defensive line to step up. We need the linebackers to step up. We need to have a attacking type defensive plan. And I think it just has to be a complete 180 from last week.
Yeah, it's going to be a speed game, and can the Bills have enough speed to keep up with Montgomery and Gibbs, who have 22 rushing touchdowns between them? They have 66 catches combined, so they are dual threat backs. St. Brown, Williams, Laporta. I mean, Williams is averaging 18 yards per catch. Laporta is averaging almost 13 yards per catch. They're all scoring touchdowns. Don't sleep on Tim Patrick either, who's really coming on for them.
Yeah, Tim Patrick's a guy I wanted the Bills to sign because, when he was healthy in Denver, I thought he was very, very dynamic. So they got weapons all over the field. They're able to use them, but they've been got in a couple games. That game versus Chicago, I mean, they almost lost to the Bears. And Jared Goff has had games in his career where he gets pretty erratic with the ball. So if we can kind of take away the first and second reads and get to a place where he's making some tough decisions, I think we have a pretty good shot.
Yeah, I think you're right. Down in distance, I think it's going to be a big play in this game. If we can get him down to a 3rd and 7, 3rd and 8 on a fairly regular basis, I think you're right. Yards per catch, Lions 4.6, Bills 4.5. Yards per, that's carry, I beg your pardon. Yards per reception, Bills 11.9, Lions 11.8. I mean, these teams are so even in terms of their offenses. Scoring, Detroit's got 51 touchdowns. The Bills have 49. It's ridiculous. This is going to be another shootout, so if you like offensive football, definitely get after it. 9 guys with sacks. Famously, the Lions go for it on 4th down a lot. Depend on it, right, if they get there?
Right, and that puts a lot of pressure on the defense. But if you can stop them on a couple of these 4th downs, you can get some short field and we can get going. I don't want everybody to cloud their judgment from the Bills' last game. They've been very excellent this season on both sides of the ball. And I think if we can, I say this every week, if we can keep the other team to 3 and we can get 7, we'll win the game.
Yeah, for sure. And look, the Dolphins admittedly have a semi-similar offense to what the Lions do in terms of firepower and ability, right? And guys that can make plays. So, and the Bills have always done well against the Dolphins, so why can't they do well against the Lions? I totally get it. Let's see what you think going into this game. One thing very important, Rapp and Rasul Douglas on the injury list this week after, of course, the Rams game. You know when they got hurt in that game. All right, let's get to your score predictions so we can get out of here and get to watching this game.
That's right. I like the Bills in this game. I like them 28-21.
28-21. I'm going to go back to a prediction I made at the very beginning of the year. I think they lose to this game. It's on the road. I think Detroit wins 37-27. I just don't have a lot of confidence right now in the Bills' defense after what I saw, and they've been sort of inconsistent all year long as far as I'm concerned. So great job as always. Great job to our crew, to the Bills Mafia, to Tyler Dunne. Thank you for watching. Thanks to Aesthetic Associates, Shatkin Dental, Dr. Todd Shatkin, Sorrentinos, and Myers RV as well. Hey, look, I predicted the Bills to lose, but I still want them to win.
Go Bills.
Go Bills is right. Thanks for watching the Shatkin First Down Buffalo pregame show.
In the Pocket is sponsored by Mini Dumpster Rental. Call 716-429-6362. This has been a production of the Shatkin Sports Network.